Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Goddess High Priestess Empress Alba La Panthera. Welcome to the vibes. New subscribers, new viewers. Shout out to the returning, the subscribers. Major shout out to the members. I love you all. Welcome. We're going to just dive into this energy, okay? Because as of the 14th of this month, December, okay, we do have this square between Mars and Neptune that are in the sign of Pisces at its final degree, which is a critical degree. All right. And during this moment, you may have this level of inspiration or willingness to get out of your apathy state. So you may find yourself ready and willing to present to yourself the truth of matters that have been, in some way, shape, or form, injustice towards you or that which you love. Mainly more so towards you, especially with it being in the square to Mars, which is a personal planet. And as far as Sagittarius, this could have a lot to do with the way you view life from your higher mind and your higher perspective or philosophy. Okay, for some of you, may be something as simple and practical as you figuring out why you were holding yourself possibly when it comes to making a move in terms of a different location. Practically and precisely, for some of you, it could have something to do with moving. And this could be moving to a place that you may not be familiar with or may be considered foreign to you. And noticing the challenges that are closing out with Neptune being in Pisces at its final degree before it goes back into Aries, where now when it goes back into Aries, it puts you in a position of you knowing the truth of the imagination that's you, the God that is within you, the version of you that is that creator. But it's up to you to believe and know that, because a lot of times, based on certain past indoctrinations, many have been known to believe things that they do not know. And now you all are in a position to literally cut that essence and that energy at the root. And the root of that could be showing up for each and every one of you in its most practical sense, based on each of y'all's experience. And this is especially when it comes to where you may have been fighting yourself when it comes to any form of guilt or shame, in a sense, as well. This could be coming up here for some of you. Remember, with these messages, take what resonates to the point that it's precisely resonating with you. Don't make the situation fit where now it places you into this spot of wanting to resonate with the message that is not in connection to what it is that you desire in life. And this could bring back a situation that you've healed from, but resonating with something from the past, which is also useful in that sense, in terms of the way that it's being explained right now, where it could bring forth a trigger. The trigger has nothing to do with, first and foremost, the energy outside of you. The only responsibility, the energy outside of you that you may feel is the reason for your trigger, is the fact that they're even present in your reality at the time that you sense that energy of being triggered. When that entire energy of being triggered is solely because of you and things that are within you that have been lurking beneath the surface. And lo and behold, this energy comes about, ignites it, basically, a lighter to your candle, in a sense, where now it brings it to the surface for you to handle it. Because for some of you may be out here, or people may be blaming you for certain things I'm also, okay, this is what I was picking up on this energy too earlier, where some of you are learning about a person and their motives. Meaning, especially in a toxic situation where unfortunately this person has a tendency to put it in your face that they are triggering you, and you take that on in the sense of, you know, you not feeling worthy, when the way to truly perceive what that experience is right there, when somebody tells you or puts it in your face that, oh, now I'm triggering you, and that type of bullshit. Remember that your triggers are internal. They're solely part of you. And someone else's energetic field can literally just remind you of what's inside of you. Not them in terms of the way that they're expressing it. Oh, yeah, I'm triggering you. It's because there are people out there that be talking at the side of their mouth on some bullshit and feeling real high and mighty about triggering people. Now, granted, there is a way to express that in the sense of, when you are speaking of that word trigger, handling it solution based, and you are aware that your presence may activate a trigger within someone, that's the way of expressing it that way. But being the sole responsibility for it, no. Okay? So just to be mindful. Help that person out with their little countdown. This ain't the place for it. You too. Because what you saying ooh for? Anyway. So yeah. With this Mars in Sagittarius square Neptune in Pisces, you may find that your sensitivity may be at an all-time high. Utilize that energy to create as much as it is possible for you to do so. Okay? That'll be highly beneficial during this moment. On the low vibrational side of this Mars in Pisces and the square to Neptune in Pisces, this is a type of energy. And if you literally have this placement in your chart, you could have a tendency to feel guilty because you have to do something. You can literally feel guilty because you have to do something. Now, let's look at that from a much deeper perspective now. Sacral chakra energy. The use of one's willpower, Mars. Neptune, breaking beyond psychic boundaries to align and come into a position of coherence when it comes to what you're imagining and it actually being your reality. So when you have this Mars and Neptune square placement, you can easily find yourselves in positions where you may not feel comfortable to create something. And that can start with the fact that you're constantly doing things only because you will do it. Solar plexus energy, Mars, only because you will do it, even at a wit's end, just to get to the point where now you're feeling guilty about what you had to do, either towards another person or towards yourself. That's the downside of this here energy with Mars and the square to Neptune. Gratitude, beloved. Which can then lead to, from a much lower vibration, this is an energy that doesn't hold themselves accountable for their actions. Not having the desire to even do what it is that your sole purpose and mission is in this lifetime. Because you could be so clouded with what others perceive about what you're doing, man. Fuck what anybody got to think or say about what you're doing. Some of you, not saying be disrespectful, but for some of you, it may be that, simply just that you have to now come to a point where you put your foot down and let people know exactly who you are. And sometimes that shit can come through strongly with your silence and disconnecting from people that over and over and over again had you fucked up for real. But one can't complain about that if you're still allowing them to move that way by remaining there. Gotta pick your battles, baby. You feel me? So I want to see what Mudra comes out right quick. My fault. That was probably a bit loud. What's that? Let me see what pops through here. I'm going to show it to y'all so y'all can see it. What's the Mudra for the collective in this vibration? Div Mukham Mudra. Wow. Root chakra. Deepening. Number is? Oh, 10. I wasn't looking at it just now. Number 10. Okay. Which has to do with relaxation, support, restoration. Facilitates deep relaxation, supports eliminatory, urinary, and reproductive systems. 7th house is coming through strongly as well, one-on-one partnerships. So this could, in terms of you deepening your understanding of a situation, is going to help you to release it, basically. Slows and directs breath into the pelvis. Helpful for insomnia and helps to improve memory. The element of earth. The instructions is to raise the palms in the front of the belly facing the midline. Connect the tips of the ring and pinky fingers. Open the middle index fingers and thumbs wide. Rest the hands in front of the belly. Wrist on thighs. Relax shoulders, lengthen spine. If you are someone who is going through situation in regards to blood pressure, not highly advised to utilize this mudra. The focus here with this mudra, however, is with deep awareness, I allow relaxation to occur. So if you're someone who's experiencing, issues with low blood pressure, obviously this wouldn't be for you because it'll lower it even more. Okay? Just be very mindful. These mudra things are extremely powerful. And one is to, utilize them with caution so you're aware as to what is going on here for you. Okay? I'm about to put Shorty Low up. So yeah. Hello. Hi. Let me see what this is here talking about. You got universal light at the bottom of the deck. Number 35, 1035 could be a significance, 10, 8, or 9, completion of a cycle. Yeah, there's a lot of people going through that, a massive shedding of nonsense in life. And when I mean nonsense, it's beyond you and your current generation. This shit is going back minimum 300 years. Minimum. Okay, so if you feel as though there's a, you know, an intense increase in your emotions, this is what this message is for. Know that all is well. Analyze that emotion, that feeling, and remember that this is deeper than just your current lifetime. You're holding keys and codes, frequencies, vibrations from ages, for some of you even eons ago. All right, so here is the other one. We have here Sahasrara Mudra. It assists with meditation, concentration, and wisdom. Benefits: balances right and left sides of the brain. Beautiful. Improves concentration and brain function. Stimulates the pituitary and pineal glands. Reduces headaches and calms the spirit. Opens one to unified consciousness. The element is space. The instructions is to bring the hands together, touching the tips of both thumbs and tips of the index fingers. Spread the other fingers wide. Send the palms facing upward over the crown of the head. And practice this standing or seated, day or night, indoors or outside. The focus is I awaken the divine union of all in the universe. And that's very intriguing that that's actually showing up here as the foundation or at the bottom of the spread, because one is aligning with inner wisdom, I heard finally. And yeah, the way we have Neptune and Saturn on its way towards Aries. Aries has to do with you, yourself, your identity. A lot is changing as long as you allow that which has been preventing you from being the truth of your identity to be released. That's the main key right now. So some of you could be going through situations is exactly for that purpose, so you can get to the bottom of it. No more complaining, right? Right. Let's see what I have here. I'm going to go to a couple words from this 108 Intuit Oracle deck. I want to see what messages come through. Because when I pulled on the messages for the collective the other night, there was flow of information, destroyed heritage, dead on, speak truth, perfect timing, cancel, destroyed heritage, dead on, speak truth, communication, unconquerable force. A multi-dimensional, multifaceted, unconquerable force is, some of you may have been communicating with this energy or will be, or they have been attempting to communicate with you to remind you of your invincible spiritual power. For some of you, this clears up any gaps or stagnancy in matters of love and affection. For others of you, the confirmation here is that you are certainly in sync with your, it's coming more so from a much higher dimension in terms of ancestors, spirit guides, teachers that are assigned to you. You're in sync with them. Some of you may have been noticing how strong the synchronicities have been, where you could be watching something and describing, let's say, a character from what it is that you're watching. And you say something in describing the character while the show or film is playing, and that character says something or verbally states an exclamation that you just said. Like, let's say the other night, it was a scene of Dragon Ball Z and Vegeta was on the screen. And I was mentioning a situation that occurred in elementary school. And I said, shut up, in regards to what I was talking about when it came to it. And as soon as I said that, not even 2 seconds later, Vegeta said, shut up, on the screen. So it could be something of that nature where things, when it comes to what you're viewing, what sounds are around you, it could be an echo of what it is that you're saying at that time. But let's see here. Oh, shit. I'll show you once they all come out. Let me see. What up, North Carolina? What's good? What up, though? Let me see. We got Libra, Leo, number 1 and 1, 11 and a 3. Libra is very significant, very much so, in terms of 7th house that we was picking up on earlier. 11-3, Scorpio as well. But let me look at these words here. So what I'm doing with these, I'm going to show you in just a bit. What I'm doing with these is that I'm looking at the cards and I'm paying attention to the first word that I'm shown. So that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to see the messages that come through. So here we go. All right. Balance, fearless, full moon, due process, honor, truth, strong. The truth, and I'm being, okay, the truth is strong. The truth is strong. Let's see what about due process. It brought me back to due process again. Is some of you going through some type of legal situation? Let's see what these messages have to say. Someone has to obey orders. So there could be some type of restraint. The way I'm picking up on this energy, though, is more so in speaking to the root of matters as far as what brings about guilt and shame in a person, because it's much deeper than your current reality. There could be a vow that was made in previous generations where it keeps cycling back through because no one has recognized that this is what's happening. So until there is someone who is first and foremost brave and has the courage to recognize it for what it is, secondly, name it, because once you name it, you can bring forth a solution once you name something. This is why in many societies, ignorance thrives, because people are aware of what something is, but still continue to move as if they don't. Okay. Being guided to pull a few more here before I go into the tarot. One more. 6-6. Something hasn't been an equal give and take. So now someone has to obey orders. This is beyond physical court. This shit is cosmic at this point. Hold on. Tupac playing right now in the background. Gemini energy, two sides to something. Yeah, big time Gemini, Sagittarius. Let me look at the words now. Hold on. Close my eyes. On track, praise for achievements. On track, praise for achievements. What's next? On time, power. Moving on, recognition. Moving on, recognition. The truth about moving on, recognition. Recognizing why you're moving on. Tell me more. Steady climb, praise for achievements. Steady climb, praise for achievements. Steady climb, praise for achievements. By who? New endeavor. And seen. Something is going, now something opens up for you. Once you shed completely. Once you shed yourself from this vow, this past story that is, it's not of you. It's seen that way because your spirit, your soul, well, your blood more so matched the energy that would allow you to present yourself in situations that awakens you to a trigger that has to do with guilt and shame. But that's all happening because the foundation may not be as solid. Welcome, Fatima Panthera Soul Fam. Welcome, beautiful. Then we have autumn here. This is this season, precisely. The truth about a new endeavor. The truth about a new endeavor. The truth about a new endeavor is not new. The truth of, you think this is something new, but it's finally been it's unlocked now. You unlocked the new level. You unlocked the new level. That's what happened. You unlocked a new level. Right on time, too. Right on time. That was actually the message that was posted, too, on the community tab, as a matter of fact. Speaking of. Let me see what the surrender message is. Because if any of those come out again, then yeah. It is certainly this energy of a royal ancestor that's been having you, placing you through and into situations as a training season before they can finalize the due process. I'm getting strong Harry Potter vibes, so obviously this has to do with a very strong mystical oracle or seer that has always been connected to your bloodline. Strongly on a mystical creature, though, because this is not coming across as a human. It's not a harmful creature, obviously. Color red. It could be a red dragon for some of you, red dragon. So a fire dragon, or you could be someone who's also a fire horse in Chinese astrology. That is the year we're going into, the fire horse. So that could be of significance as well. I'll be doing the message on that in terms of this snake year and then going into the horse year. So stay tuned. We have surrender to passion. Oh. and surrender fear. There's been a challenge with fear when it comes, see? There's been a challenge with fear, which is the blockage of the root chakra. Fear blocks your root chakra because it's going to have you feeling as though you're not rooted, grounded, secure, or safe. This is why the message was coming through as far as this is not a new endeavor. It's just you unlocked a new level. And this has to do with some of you now being much more familiar when it comes to your Saturn placement. And with Saturn in Pisces, before it goes back into Aries, Saturn in Pisces in the Tarot is the Eight of Cups, which is about walking away from things that no longer serve you, that you felt was a powerful emotional connection. It was powerful indeed, but it was a power that was regenerating constantly the cycle of fear. And now you're the one that holds those codes, those keys, that water, that air, that earth, that fire, that ether within you to recognize it, and without even being possibly conscious of the fact that, I mean, you're always conscious as long as you feel as though you have air in your body, for one, or that you're breathing, you're not choking, you're not gasping for air. So that in itself, in terms of that. But anyway, even if you wasn't conscious that this was the root as to why everything you was experiencing and the way you was experiencing it was happening. In a practical sense, this may appear as people feeling as though that what you desire to do, you'll never be able to do it because you may have been working on something for so long, and because they don't see results, they feel as though it's not happening. Or for some of you, you may have been feeling as though you were being rushed to do something that, nah, you go on your own timing, your own cycles, while also being aware not to remain in something. See, the way, as I'm about to say, the way you are actually aware that you're not sitting in a cycle longer than you should be is because you're no longer connected to fear. When you're no longer connected to fear, you're not going to sit in something that no longer serves you longer than you should. It's as simple as that. And if there's a strategy you want to connect to, that's why I keep mentioning the Saturn placement. Your root chakra is ruled by Saturn. Your Saturn placement is connected to the first 7 years of your life. Some have it great, others don't. So much so that when people tune into astrology, they may remember something that they have forgotten because of the trauma that they experienced during those years 0 to 7. But because you're seeing the information, it could be something as simple as your eyes see that you're looking at the word Saturn, the sign that it's in, the degrees that it's in. That's an agreement you and your soul spirit may have made before you came here as an indication. All right, when we see this, we're going to reawaken that, no matter how much they attempted to hide themselves from what it is that they were going through before. It's an uncovering, naming it, and coming up with the solutions was going to free them for real. When it comes to the world of mysticism and magic, it's very simple, but the collective has been taught to complicate it because you would have to be able to know what you believe in. This is why the shit has always been opposite, constantly indoctrinating people to believe something they don't fully even know. Most people don't even read biblical text correctly. Something as simple as it's not a literal text. For all you know, the only actual being that's in there Well, there are many beings that are in there. But if we're looking at it as far as a person, it's the Christ energy, the consciousness of it. All of the other characters are the different levels that that Christ consciousness has had to go through as far as doorways to recognize itself. And then beyond that, which is why the mystery school version is not in there. Because there's a big gap from when your boy is a adolescent to a grown ass man. Yo, what the I mean, it's fun and it's cute to read it from a literal sense, but don't you know what I mean? Don't like stuff to get fooled about shit, man. Don't allow yourself to get too, fooled by it. It's a great book. There are great information in there when used properly. The same way people can use a knife in a different way. You can use it to cook, or you could, it could be used to do the complete opposite. All right, so here we go with this here. In regards to, this is not new. It was just, you were unlocking the fear, removing the fear, unlocking the keys, unlocking the doors that were keeping the fear in a position to thrive because it was being housed, giving fear a place to stay. You know what I mean? So let me see. La Panthera so Let me go over here first. Let me see something. We got the 11th house, okay, where the cosmos grant opportunities, social occasions, relationships for the long term. Where the cosmos connects you to your tribe. What's at the bottom? Chariot of Ascension, the Merkaba, spiritual work of the higher initiate, which is a key indicator for me to keep speaking the way I'm speaking right now. Because I promise you, when I watch this shit back, what I'm saying right now is not making sense. Why? Because I'm not thinking about it. I'm literally just over here just saying whatever comes through from what's being projected, as far as what I'm capable of seeing, hearing, or just claircognizance in its full effect. Claircognizance in its full effect at this point. Because one thing about a lot of this information and mysteries of life, you have to be able to gauge your emotions, where that statement about the truth at first will piss you off, then it'll set you free. You have to be able to gauge your emotions so you don't sit in that energy of being pissed off for so long. Because there could be a misinterpretation of when someone feels as though they're free. Example of that would be when looking into who are the first people and all this other stuff. To each its own, but that creates division nonetheless. That's all it does. It continues the story of separation, which is the story of the 3D. If we're talking about rising into higher dimensions, fourth, fifth, sixth, 12th, all of that, you're gonna have to get beyond non-duality. Duality keeps the energy of separation, as it should, right? Left, up, down. But obviously, there's a lot of energy that entails that type of frequency in terms of what is non duality really? Well, that would be beyond the balance of the light and the dark. Instead of it being gray, it's silver. It grants you a certain level of protection and precision with your thoughts, where you're not in this constant thinking into overthinking and not ever being able to land the information so it becomes a thought. As the saying goes, thought becomes things. Not the thinking. The thinking is more so the architect still coming up with the plan, the blueprint. Still drawing. Still landing. Let me see what other examples I can give you of non-duality. Okay, it's real simple actually. Where you dream of something, but then in this waking life, you don't actually recall if it was a dream or something you did the other day. That's literally you glitching many portals at that point. You done glitched up right up on out of here. Leveling up to the higher, probably not so much separation, huh? Exactly. Mother of life comes out. Nourishment of the golden grain mother. So, let me show you what I'm looking at here. This is what we have coming up. Mother of life. Mother of life. The womb. Nurtured. Being nurtured. This could also be the healing of the divine masculine too, because Jupiter is in Cancer. Retrograde right now, though. What degrees is it in? Hold on. Is it still 18? No, not even. That was way too far. Let me see. 23. Aquarius. That's 11th house right there. Say less. Okay. Wait, one hot ass minute. Let me see something. There's something here about habits. If I'm looking at this 11th house and I just mentioned Jupiter and Cancer, something here about Virgo rising specifically. Well, the South Node is in Virgo. So if you're a Virgo rising, you're certainly healing aspects of you when it comes to your identity. Virgo will not. This surrender of fear is going to help you to, I heard, recalibrate, rejuvenate your sense of identity, which is going to allow you to surrender the passion. Yeah, there's a strong emphasis on Cancer here because the light is even glowing on the breast area, which is also Cancer energy. And then mother of life, you can think of that as breast milk. That boy needs some milk. Okay. Hold on. Yo, what the fuck? Stop playing with me. Jupiter's at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, that's why I was coming through that way, because I was touching the card. And we have Pisces here. See? Fifth house, creation, partners, dates, passion. This is okay. Someone has someone literally has a passion for dating or relationships, romantic situations. But that could be something that's actually being uncovered in terms of surrendering the fear, because they may have been the opposite of that. This could be an energy of a person that has a very hard shell. Speaking of Cancer, the crab has a very hard shell, but deep down inside, they are, poof. When it comes to the level of emotions that they carry, when you're talking about the ocean, it's an ocean of emotions. Beautiful, but it wasn't nurtured properly. So my message to you, or if you're someone that is experiencing that type of energy in terms of someone you may be intrigued by, see where you're also, where you're at when it comes to mothering and fathering yourself. So you can see if this person is a reflection of you or if you're just their mirror. Because if you're the mirror, now they are their own reflection. You're just holding space as the mirror. But as a reflection, either way, there would be a reason for the alignment to even show up anyway. Something that just came across the screen, late night love thoughts, fate, astro, literally just came across the screen as a notification, 7:52 on the clock, 17:52. The star, the Hierophant, and the High Priestess, 17, 5, and 2. And then the Chariot of Ascension was also at the bottom of the deck. 52 is a 7. The Chariot is connected to Cancer, the sign of Cancer. Fourth house, this could be roots, ancestors. It is a major clearing of type of relationships people are allowing into their lives, specifically one-to-one romantic relationships. Some people may not even realize their level of habits when it comes to connecting to a certain intensity of toxicity in relationships or types of people. They might see this through friends and ignore it, see it through family members and ignore it, see it through partners and ignore it. They have a child with that partner, the cycle continues. Shit can be fun as a game and a joke, but then it ain't at the same time if you're not, playing this shit correctly. I'm just saying. Oh, someone is, what is that? What is that? Something about birthday cake. The strand, birthday cake. Smell that shit right now. Oh shit, Lapis Lazuli. Y'all heard that pop? Goddess of the ancient skies, Lapis Lazuli. Throat chakra. Let me see. This one. Your soul is very ancient. Yeah, of course it is. That's why you landed here on this channel. Some way, somehow. You done skipped to my loo right up on over here. Your soul is very ancient, beloved, and does not only herald from earth. This is why there is this mystical creature. It's not harmful, but it's been surrounding and protecting you. It holds much special wisdom, it holds much special wisdom of star peoples from civilizations far and near, with unique high vibrational awareness that can help humanity transition from a civilization. Someone needs to get the fuck up. I'm pausing what I'm reading right now. Someone has to get the fuck up. The energy you're sitting in right now is heavy as shit. It's like you got cement blocks wrapped around your ankles by choice. Get the fuck up. Okay, 1755. That's 555 for your ass. Okay. Because you have the connections you have to being this high vibration, you've used it on the opposite spectrum for way too fucking long. Let me see. Let me stop reading that right there. Show me. Hot air balloon, indicating the truth of your energy. It's truly highly vibrational. Flow, ascension, yeah. One who can defy, rise above, get up. I'm telling you, don't resist, rise above. Tell me, get up. You could be an Aquarius, or 11th house is very strong right now. Yeah, scuba dive. You went real deep. Happening now. Called your ass out. Somebody come look. Wow. This has to do with the breakup. You're here to say it often, but people don't really resonate with it. You're just hearing shit. But thunderstorm, man, it's Wednesday. Oh boy. I'm telling you. Said show me this, and I said get the fuck up, didn't I? All right. For some of you got the 1111 on the top of the thing there. 53. That's 8, but the card you got representing that was this. Something is obviously not balanced, and this is why you this ain't nothing new. This is nothing new. So show me what's going on here. You already know the hot air balloon came out first, followed by this card, then this one, then these were at the bottom of the spread. Regrets over the past, accidents happen, stop blaming yourself. Okay, let me tell you something. This is an energy. This is how I would talk to you, especially if you are the type of person that you know what the fuck is going on, but you keep doing the same shit. Stop doing the same shit expecting a different result when you know that shit that you keep doing is not going to give you a fucking different result. That's it. Whether if it's a thought, whoever it is that you're communicating with, you got to be more aware and pay more attention to what occurs when you're here, cause, then when you go over there, effect. You are in charge of that. There's bullshit about right or wrong, good or bad, got people fucked up out here. That's what keep people in situations, because they don't know the actual universal law. They know man's rules of the game. A game that they don't even fucking belong in. We got to do this. Cold hard truth. You're being rejected from something 5444 because it's not yours. It's not for you. Leave that shit alone. There's no reason for any of you to be experiencing any type of romantic relationship where there's constantly hitting below the belt, disrespect, and all this other bullshit, or crying over some shit over the past that was that. Let that shit go. This is the type of phase you in right now. Saturn in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces. Before those two go into Aries, get your shit together. Cry whatever the fuck it is you gotta cry out, but move the fuck on. Enough been enough. 55:33 on the timer. It's time to make the changes from the lessons you've learned. You've already ascended from this shit so far up. So much so you can defy certain laws. Man, shit. You deserve and are truly worthy of partnerships and relationships that are intentional, desire to see you, not understand you. That's for you. Understanding is for you. The intention for a person who is around you, who understands themselves to see you, is a whole different story than desiring, or much more so wanting somebody to understand you. Understand that version of yourself and you'll see how much more less you're going to be looking for that, for someone to understand you, because you're going to know your worth. So much so that you're not looking for someone to understand you. What other things you have to understand about yourself? Go understand that. So that way you're not looking or choosing to align with something that understands you, because that should already be the effect of the cause that you understand yourself. Okay? This is why when it comes to triggers, that game of pointing the finger at somebody, no. Triggers are all you. Carried on lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. It's just people present themselves in the lack of awareness or the absence of awareness of what that word trigger is for each one for themselves. It has everything more so to do with you. Opportunities presents itself for you for it to remind you as a past agreement that when this shows up, we're going to remind ourselves that if this shit is still sitting within us, has to be neutralized so it can become neutral data, where now you have mastered some shit. That shit that was triggering you. So get up. Okay? All right. Love you. But get the fuck up. Real shit. You got this, I promise you. You made it this far. You found this fucking channel. You can get up. I know you can. You wouldn't find this channel if you couldn't. I promise you that. All right. There goes Isis for you. Don't blame me. That's Isis. She came for y'all. You gonna balance this shit out. Literally. Because it's at the bottom of the deck, too. Tantra. So you gonna balance this shit out. Right here, right now. 5858. 5858, May 8th, May 8th. May 8th, 58, 1958 could be very specific for someone. You need to clear up her shit. You are clearing up whatever that energy started. Or continued. Not even so much started, continued. Right. Let me see. You know what? I'm going to go to these archetype cards. I want to see you. Now. We almost getting off here, though. I really just came to see what the vibes was, because, listen. We all have our shifts and cycles. But one thing I can tell you for sure, a cycle only repeats itself because you choose for it to do so. And that's the starting point of clearing up anything that places one into fear, guilt, or shame. You have that thought, that verbiage, and you know that a cycle only repeats itself because you allow it. Now you have to look at all the reasons as to why you're allowing it, and you now have to make another decision to stop allowing others' feelings, thoughts, their thinking patterns to govern your decisions. Because half of the fucking time, these people that you're basing your decisions off of, they don't even have a thought for themselves. No disrespect, it's just the truth. So now everybody in the fucking void at this point. Why? Because you choose to be. The cave. Interesting. Run up the bill. Somebody running up the bill over here. Somebody's for sure running up the bill. 32. 5. Running it up. Because they're comfortable where they're at. Lying to themselves about being comfortable where they're at. The way a person lies to themselves about being comfortable where they're at, you're still fucking complaining about it. That's how. Okay. So, this is your card. The dark, the portal, the interior. Slowly and steadily, crystals of enormous magnitude grow within the dark confines of caves. Let the cave teach you patience. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation, for sacred habits and a starting point. Practical sense of the words. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat where one can see the truth of self in the darkness. Right back to the womb space. Go into the root of it. The depths of the emotions. Being mindful what it is you're giving your power to. Depths of emotions, giving Scorpio energy. What you give your power to is a reflection of Taurus, or the way you see and value yourself. The cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet, because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave. Many have been known, because we not Cancer clear, delete that. Many Cancer clear, delete. Yet, because of its mystery and power, there may be a fear of the cave, and they never attempt to find it. Some busy themselves in the bright lights of the city, while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend to the fire. When in a very high vibration, in the essence of the cave, your reality is more so you connecting to the sacred center within. When dark, there's a higher sense of withdrawal, isolation, hiding. Envision yourself as an old sage in the cage. Ooh, someone is an old sage in the cage, because that shit certainly says cave, not a cage. So some of you are in this energy of having quote unquote boundaries, but those aren't boundaries you have. You have walls up. You got walls up. There's a difference. One hurts, the other protects. The boundaries protect you. Anybody can break down your walls. Your boundaries are so intense in its own electric magnetic field that a person wouldn't have means to be able to connect with you. 6606 on the timer as I said that. All right. Envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. What amenities do you desire? What draws you even closer, ever closer to the cave within the cave? Let's see. Let's see. Ooh. The poet. Now, it's showing up here in reverse. Yeah. This is what was stated in regards to what was it? Fuck. We just said it a while ago. Where you're placing yourself in situations. Oh, in regards to allowing a message to resonate. Gratitude, sorry. Allowing a message to resonate and not making it fit. And making it fit will be an example of desiring to go back to a past version or unlock something from the past just because you hear something and it resonates and that's where it places you, and you desire, you may have a want, more so of a want to be there than a desire, because a desire won't allow you to be in that shit for too long or go at all. But the fact that the poet is showing up here in reverse, what allows you to go deeper into the cave and even into the cave of the cave has been stories that weren't of harmony. So this could be more in a sense of thriving with pain, constantly thriving with pain and never healing from it, or claiming to be going through a healing process or doing shadow work. And this is a lifelong fucking process, because shadow work should not be a lifelong process. Because if you are truly intending to do shadow work, you will heal. And it won't be lifelong, which is why you have to be disciplined when you decide that you're going to initiate shadow work. Because that means you're ready to dissolve all of these issues that don't allow you to experience the healed version of yourself. And even with being healed, it's not to say that you won't experience challenges. You just won't react or respond to it from the wounded state anymore. Now, that strategy, that key, and it's literally a glyph of a key, that's speaking to your Chiron placement, which happens to be in Aries. Not happens to be, but it's in Aries. While you have Saturn, it has to do with what you came here to master, in connection to Neptune, having to do with your imagination, the way you perceive yourself beyond psychic boundaries. Before those two go into Aries, you have the most wounded aspects of your soul, Chiron, in the sign of Aries, which has everything to do with who you are. So facing it head on, literally Aries is the head, facing it head on is going to allow you to really connect to, okay, where you were and valuing yourself. So anybody who's not aware, let's say, of astrology right now, and Chiron goes into Taurus, which has to do where there could be situations, or not could be, there will be situations that may, you know, bring up the word trigger certain parts of you when it comes to the way you see your self-worth. But some people will not be able to really get to the root of that if they don't know who they are, Aries, yet. They have to know who they are, the I am that I am, before they can see their worth. Once you know who you are, it automatically is going to connect to your worth. From whichever dimension anyone wants to take it. If someone sees themselves as someone that is doubtful, then their worth is going to be poor. Simple as that. If you see yourself from a high value standpoint and high functioning standpoint, your worth is going to respond to that as well. You're wealthy, healthy, prosperous, living amazing. And not just from a material standpoint, more so from a spiritual and emotional perspective. And in speaking of the sage in the cage, that's a crystal ball in her hand. Some of you have a way of expressing yourself with words or writing or poetry. Get to it. Do what it is that allows you to be in a sense of calmness, where your nervous system feels calm. Because that's another thing about this Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces, is bringing up all of that energy in terms of what's been keeping the collective in this state of, oh, they have to do this and work hard in order to be successful because of a certain belief system and shit. Literally, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces is bringing up everything of the age of Pisces, what was keeping people restricted away from the truth of themselves. You know? So, just got chills. Just got chills. Final message. The Nine of Swords. The Five of Cups. Shit. And the Six of Pentacles. It's a matter of being honest with yourself about what is not an equal give and take or reciprocal in your energy, so you can get your rest back, so you can let go of these sorrow, pains, and regrets. You can constantly place yourself in this cycle of sorrow, pains, regrets on some fuck, I should never did that. If you aren't honest about the balance and the energies or values, more so, because this is a Taurus card, the Six of Pentacles. If you're not honest about your values, then you easily allow anything just to be around because of a lack of security, safety, and grounding within oneself, that you're looking for that outside of yourself constantly. This is a Gemini card, Scorpio, Taurus. So for some of you here, there's been too much overthinking and not enough action when it comes to, you know, you being honest in regards to where you're sharing these emotions with people. And it's time to change that with the 5 and end the cycle with the 9, so you can reestablish your vessel, your habits with this 6 of Pentacles, or the number 6 more so. So much so the universe wants to bliss you with that level of abundance. For all the changes and recalibrations you've been going through, especially when it comes to these two chakras, the root and the sacral. You got the lapis lazuli up here having to do with the throat chakra and protection. You can use that as a protection as well for your throat chakra. But there's certainly something here that's being answered. It's coming back in. So this is what's for you is always going to show itself. It has to. The beginning and end are already set, and I'm going to end it with that. The beginning and end are already set. What's in between is up to you, literally. 7 of Cups, Venus and Scorpio. What's in between is up to you.